A quick reaction to Athletic versus Real Madrid post-match analysis.
Points in their opening game in the Basque Country. Job done, really, Craig.
Yeah, more than satisfactory performance, bearing in mind the changes to this side from last season, the change of shape, change of goalkeeper, no Karim Benzema, 2 up front, Jude Bellingham in as a new signing, lots of young, energetic players in the middle of the park, subsidised by Toni Kroos and Luka Modric being able to come off the bench, so really, really good opening day performance.
Absolutely. This performance was more than I expected because we have so many uncertainty this season. We still don't know who is going to play our forward. We still don't know if we're going to get Mbappe yet or not. Despite all the obstacles, including Courtois getting injury, we did a decent performance today. Today's biggest takeaway was, can Real Madrid play without Kroos and Modric? And today's performance showed that probably they can.
The problem they're going to have is trying to overcome Jude Bellingham's nerves.
Yes. A lot of panic from Jude Bellingham today. What a player. What a personality. What character. The guy looked like he's been playing for Real Madrid for a decade. Just getting on the ball, personality, presence, running with the ball. He was outstanding. Everything that Real Madrid fans would have wanted.
I had to agree with Ale here because Bellingham's performance, this is the debut any player can dream to play for Real Madrid. Scoring goal on La Liga debut, that's incredible. Like, how many players do that? And today we have seen an all-round performance from Jude Bellingham. For example, you can talk about defending, you can talk about midfield control, you can talk about running with the ball, you can talk about chance creation, and you can talk about finishing. A 10 out of 10 performance. So if we focus on the stat that we're seeing here, let's focus on the shots on goal. As you can see, Athletic has 7 shots on goal and Real had 14. However, the biggest takeaway from here is that today's midfield, the diamond midfield, which I'm not a big fan of. Honestly, I told you in the last video that I'm not a big fan of this diamond formation. There's some downsides that we'll talk later, but let's focus on what's the strength of this formation. This diamond formation gives you more midfield control. As a result, opponents don't have many chances. As you can see, today Athletic didn't create much when we were playing with this diamond formation.
Ian Maka, Jude Bellingham the story today, isn't he?
Oh, very much so. He's going to make headlines not just in Spain, but in England as well. And I agree with Ali. He looked like he'd been playing in the team, didn't he, Maka, for years?
I do agree with that statement that it felt like when Jude Bellingham was playing today, he was playing as if he was playing with this team for a long time.
A lot of players come to Real Madrid and that shirt proved incredibly heavy. It was anything but today for the young Englishman.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the word that defines Bellingham's performance tonight is assured, isn't it? All the way through the game, it felt like he was in control. It felt like he knew exactly what he wanted to do. It felt like he wanted the ball. And I think the most significant thing in a way, maybe, is not just that it felt like he wanted the ball. It felt like his teammates wanted him to have it. They were really happy to exchange passes with him. They were happy for him to come deep and start moves or to be at the top of the diamond and wait for those moves to come to him. And I felt that while it wasn't the kind of performance where you have a huge amount to get very excited about in terms of outstanding moments, the whole thing was a performance of a man who thought, you know what, it's right that I'm here. This is the place for me.
So I would say the way Jude played today, it felt he's not Tony. He's mature. Like the way he moves with the ball. Like one time, and he dribbled in the right side, like 3 different players.
Real Madrid is going to miss a leader, or he wasn't going to miss a leader, because finally I think that it's proven today that Jude Bellingham could become that leadership, that player who can bring something different. Benzema was a leader up front. Militao should be the one stepping forward and saying, listen, I'm going to help you guys. I'm going to be here for all of you. And I think that young talent like him, I think he matured so much so quick when he did that jump to Dortmund and then going back here to Real Madrid. And today showed what a player he's going to become, what a player he is.
I'll not go so far to stretch out that about being leader at this time, because we only have seen one match. Okay, we know that he has potential to be a leader, but I think that's too far-fetched to talk about leadership. But let's focus on today's formation and lineup here a little bit. As you can see, Tchouaméni in the middle, which is best position for Tchouaméni, and we had Camavinga and Fede and Bellingham, which makes a diamond formation. And in the front, we had Vini and Rodrygo. The problem with this formation today was that at times, it seems that Rodrygo and Vinicius was isolated. Yes, this diamond formation gives you advantage in terms of more control. You have more defensive appearance. You have more defensive presence. But when you think about attack, there's some missing puzzle. When it comes to football, you have to utilize all the space you have. Oftentimes, most of the time, you have a space in the left or in the right side, which we didn't have today because Vini and Rodrygo had to occupy in the middle. And there's some disadvantage. For example, whenever Vini had the ball, there were 3 or 4 players surrounded by Atletico Bilbao players. So he did not have much space because he became a little bit more predictable when you play this formation. In my opinion, if you want to get best out of Vinicius, to get best out of his strength, you have to play him in the left side. You have to exploit those space. This is his strength. Because he's a player, he needs space to make best out of his strength. He needs to create those chances that he loves to do. Also, even when he has some chance in the left side, we have to have our players, especially from midfield, to make run in the middle so that they have more players and do something. Today we saw at times that when Vini was in the left, when he was making run, there was no one in the middle was making run so that he can make a pass.
Little changes, Craig, didn't we, in the formation to what we're used to with Real Madrid. Obviously, Benzema moving has kind of forced Ancelotti's hand. What did you make of it?
I thought it worked fine. I thought it worked quite well, actually. And as the first half went on in particular, they grew in confidence and they just took the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yes, I do agree. First half performance was really good, especially if you think about after 20 minutes and to 40 minutes, that's insane performance. The way our midfield was playing, the amount of pressure they were displaying, that was incredible.
And Sid was talking about moments that perhaps have nothing to do with the final score, and yet I think they tell you the whole story of what Jude Bellingham is as a player. The run that he had in the second half where he received the ball in his defensive half and he's able to attract pressure, split defenders, use his strength, use his speed, get away from defenders, goes and combines, gets in behind and then eventually finds a cross. Look, that's just a skill set that not many people in the world have. And that's a guy transitioning from a defending position to now an attacking position by just running with the ball because he has that physical attribute. But then the defending part as well. What he did, and it's something we highlighted in the coverage, in the 32nd minute, Vini stepping over the ball, step over here, step over there. Now I lose it in a bad area. And now Atletico are going in transition and offensively, they look like they may be able to create something. No. It's Jude Bellingham who tracks down the runner, sliding challenge, and now we have possession of the ball again. He's going to give you that, the defensive work, and he's going to give you the offensive work. And most of all, even if he's 20 years old, he's also going to give you presence and leadership. That's unique for a guy coming into Real Madrid or a guy coming into any club. For a guy who's 20 years old and now all of a sudden looks like he's the most experienced player on the field. There is something special about Jude Bellingham.
So what LA just said, I 100% agree everything what he said about Jude Bellingham. However, as of now, all the talk at ESPN is all about Jude Bellingham. We also have to talk about other players, right? I think one advantage of Real Madrid's current midfield is the versatility. A lot of players, they have a lot of strength. For example, they all can defend. They all can make runs with the ball. And they can also create chances. Let's discuss a little bit about Fran Garcia. I think he has okay debut, not the best performance because attacking he was decent. He had a couple of decent through balls to Vinicius. One of them was offside, but in general, his passing was decent. Being said that, defensively, he lacked confidence. It was apparent that he doesn't have the physicality to play as a left back. At the same time, this is his debut match, so we cannot be really strict about his performance. All I say, we have to wait to see the best out of Fran Garcia. Also, we have some bad news today. For example, Militao got injured. We don't know the extent of his injury, but hopefully it's not a bad injury like Courtois. Hopefully he'll come back soon. So winning first match in La Liga, that's incredible 3 points. Let me know your observation from today's performance.